My intention is to show you how to contact your higher self and receive these messages and insights and answers through sleep or through napping. Hello my loves, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the Baby Elephant community, where we talk about metaphysics, spirituality, self-development, law of attraction, BTS, and more. Today I'm going to tell you guys about a concept that I've recently looked into and learned about. I'm going to teach you how to use it, and basically my intention for this video is to teach you and to give you a method or technique of contacting your higher self, of tapping into messages, receiving messages from your higher self, and basically just gaining insights and answers from the more spiritual aspect of yourself, from the part of you that is an immortal spiritual being. And I'm going to use science to do that. So over the years, I've heard a few stories about some great inventors, creators, people who have really shaped humankind's history and the way that we live our lives now in their respective fields. I noticed a pattern, and I'm sure many other people have noticed a pattern with some of these creators, some of these inventors, and that is that many of these people, many of these brilliant creators used what's called the hypnagogic state to come up with many of their amazing inventions and creations. I'll get into what the hypnagogic state actually is soon, but first I want to give you some examples of some brilliant men who have used this state. One example is the artist Salvador Dali, who would take naps in the afternoons or right before the afternoon. He would sit up in his armchair, he would hold a skeleton key, and on the floor he would put a saucer or a metal plate on the floor right beneath his hand. And he would take this power nap, this version of a power nap, where when he would fall asleep, he'd let go of the key would clink to the ground, it would hit the plate, it would wake him up, and he'd be inspired and also awakened in this new state that allowed him to create some of his most amazing and incredible surrealist artwork. Then we have the inventor Thomas Edison, who did something extremely similar. Thomas Edison would sleep 5 or 6 hours a night, but he would take 3 naps during the day, about 1 hour long naps. Thomas Edison attributed many of his ideas, this 3,000 pages of ideas and new discoveries, to hacking the power nap and entering the hypnagogic state. So when Edison would have a particularly challenging problem that he needed an answer to, or when he wanted to come up with a new discovery and new idea, he would take a nap, also sitting upright. He would hold a steel ball in his hand, and on the floor, like Dali, he would have a saucer. He would also set up a pen and paper next to him, and in some cases he had associates who would wait around him while he napped and wait for him to wake up so that he can just say exactly what was on his mind, and they would write it down. So he would fall asleep, take these power naps, and the steel ball would fall, it would clink on the floor again, waking him up, and he would write down immediately what he was thinking of. He often had visuals when this would happen. The imagery and insights that he received during these little nap sessions would often solve his issues or give him brand new ideas for new inventions and new discoveries. Other notable people who used this state to contribute spectacular contributions to humanity are Aristotle and Einstein. And together, all these are just 4 of a long list of people who have hacked the nap, hacked the state of awareness to gain access to all the answers that they need. So the hypnagogic state is the transitional state between wakefulness and sleep. The moment right before the onset of sleep where you've begun to dream, but you're still conscious. And within this state, we can get into lucid dreaming, but that will be a whole topic for another video on another day. Today, I want to talk about using the hypnagogic state to put our left brain to sleep to allow the right brain to solve problems for us. The right brain is the creative part of the brain that knows no limitation and knows no fear. I want you to think of the left side of your brain as the ego mind, while the right side is the part that connects you to universal consciousness, oneness, and your higher self. Of course, we need both of these parts of our brain to function in this 3-dimensional reality. We absolutely need them to be working together like they do every day if we are normally functional people. But accessing the right part of our brain while in a way putting the left side of our brain to sleep or distracting it with other things, allows us to receive concrete messages from the other side, which is our higher self, the universe, which is connected to source. This is how we gain entry to the wisdom and knowledge of our higher self that knows everything already. As we drift off to sleep, our higher self takes over as we exit the dream of reality and enter the reality of dreams. If we are able to wake ourselves up during this transitional time, we will have the access to these incredible insights and answers that come directly from our higher selves, which is our true selves. So I want to tell you, let me explain how I got into this whole concept. So the other day I was getting sleepy in the afternoon, and I try not to take too many naps because I work from home and I'll just sleep all day, but I love napping. So I decided to take a quick power nap on my couch right here. I had an episode of Beyond Belief on Gaia TV up on the TV. It was playing in the background. And being the curious mind explorer that I've become and that I am, I decided to set an intention for my nap. I took a note card and a pen and I wrote down, I'd like to receive a message, and I put it right next to my head where I would fall asleep. I laid back and I drifted into sleep for what felt like moments before a loud noise in my apartment woke me up. I still don't know what the noise was, but I do live in a big building and I would like to assume that it was my neighbors. The moment that I woke up, I tuned into what the woman on the TV screen was saying without thinking about where I am or what I'm doing or anything. I wasn't even concerned about what the noise was. I just knew, listen to what she's saying. It was as if my higher self pushed me to listen. The first two sentences that came out of this woman's mouth, her name is Sarah, I don't remember the last name, on TV was the answer to a question I've had for months. If you guys want to know more about this experience, we're going to have to get a lot more esoteric, but please make sure to remind me and I'll tell you about that exact thing one day. So this experience happened and I was blown away by the accurateness of it all, but what really pushed me to explore the hypnagogic state and this whole concept is that the very next day, I was watching Gaia TV again and I was watching the Conscious Life Expo that was live here in LA. And the first speaker that I was watching was Grant Cameron, I believe, and he was talking about this hypnagogic state. And it was so similar to what I had experienced the day before that I was like, I have to go into this and I have to relay this message to my community, to my viewers. So I took all this as a sign that people need this information, and since then I've been practicing it and testing the best way to do it, and this is what I've come up with. And I highly recommend testing it out for yourself if you are in a rut and looking for some inspiration, if you're looking for some new idea, if you have a big decision to make or a big choice to make, if you need an answer, like a yes or no answer to something. We are practicing getting the information from inside of us instead of from outside places like we usually do. We go to a psychic or we ask our friends for advice or their opinions. This is a way to get all the information from your higher self, from your true self. So there are two ways that you can do this that I've tested out. The first way is that you can take a nap in the middle of the day, or you can do it before bed. However, I found that waking yourself up while you're in the hypnagogic state actually gives you a lot of energy. So you might want to do this while you're feeling a little sleepy in the middle of the day and not when it's bedtime, but you can do it as well. Either way, what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of paper and you're going to write down one thing that you need help with, or one question you have, or one desire, like I want $1 million idea, things like that. Whatever it is that you need help with, that you need an answer, that you need an insight or ideas that you will receive from your spiritual higher self. So write it down on a piece of paper and put it close to where you're going to be taking this nap or going to bed. I just ask you to focus on one thing at a time for now. So I recommend sleeping sitting up to do this if possible. For me, it was very possible because I can actually fall asleep anywhere, anytime, for however long. But I know that some people have to be super comfortable in order to get into a sleep state. So just work with this, see what works for you. Over time, with practice, you're gonna find the best method for you. But I do recommend sitting up in a chair or on your couch. I kind of go like this, and then what I'll do is I'll hold a remote control in my hand. And for me, if I drop the remote control from where it dangles, it's not gonna break. So you wanna make sure that you have an object that won't break, that you can drop on the floor, that will wake you up, that will be loud enough to wake you up, but won't break and won't damage the floor. So I hold the remote control in my hand like this, so that the second I fall asleep, I go like that and it falls. And I just hang my arm over my couch. So when I drift off to sleep, the remote falls out and I wake up, and whatever's on my mind, I write it down immediately. Whatever image I had, whatever I was thinking. And sometimes it will be something so random, but you'll see that it actually is relevant to whatever it is that you intended before you went to bed. When I first started this, I wasn't really able to get any message the first time when I started doing it intentionally. It took until about the third time where I was like, oh, wow, there's the answer I was looking for. The second time, the message wasn't so clear, but it was there. It was more kind of like a knowing. But by the third time, it was like plain English right in my face. And then after that, I've had images come to me. It's been several different ways that the answer and the ideas have come to me. And I feel like the idea to make this video and to go into exploring the hypnagogic states came from experiencing the states. So that was a really good message from my higher self to follow that as far as I'm concerned. So the messages will come in different ways, but with practice, you will become more able to understand them and to remember them. You can hold keys in your hand and put like a plate on the floor right where your hand is dangling, like Salvador Dali did. Whatever it is, come up with something that will wake you up. You will receive the knowledge through your creative, free-flowing thoughts, and you will develop your intuition and even psychic abilities by doing this. I'm going to continue to do this basically every single day personally, and I'm going to keep improving on the method and practice and see what kind of insights and ideas I can gain from it. I have a lot of faith in this, and I am doing it to gain more inspiration for cool videos like this one. That's it for today's video. I know it was a bit different, but if you liked it and you want more videos like this, please give this video a thumbs up because it helps the channel so much and it lets me know that you like videos like this. I go and I look at the reaction that you guys give me and I make more of that content. Thank you so much for spending a bit of your time with me today. I love you, I appreciate you, I'm grateful for you, and as always, until next time, keep your vibrations way, way, way up. Bye.